Greetings, 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 family. Thank you so much for joining me today. It's a beautiful Sunday. Every day is a beautiful day in my view, but uh, if you all haven't figured that out yet, every day is a beautiful day. So, we always start each day with breath, with the breath, and with the flow. Right? So, if this is your first time visiting this channel, welcome. Welcome. Here we are rock stars. Because we collect crystals and stuff, But so, welcome to the Conscious Creations YouTube channel. Some people call me Tisha. I'm sure other people call me other things. I answer to some. So, we always start really talking about the energy, right? Just the energy and different ways to move and to flow, to incorporate, transmute, whatever it is that we need to do with the energy, because everything is energy. You are energy. You are a being of energy. And so energy is always in motion. It's always moving, always doing something. So even when we look at the grass, it may seem like it's doing nothing, but it's always growing, right? It's always doing something. The trees, as they stand still, they're still always vertically integrating, right? And so like the trees, we vertically integrate. We grow. We grow up. From our base self to our higher selves, we grow up. And every day as we grow up, we adjust our crown. So on this day, I want to focus on the sacral chakra and the womb and reproduction. Now this also is going to go into the base chakra, which is the root chakra. The root chakra corresponds with the color red, right? Red, blood. That's the aspect of the root chakra that I want to focus on as we talk about the sacral chakra. It's the blood. And so, as we know, blood is that life force energy. It's literally life that flows through your body, feeds your cells, feeds every single organ to keep you animated, right? And as women, we shed, right? We shed the lining of our uterus. We call that menstruation. For most people, it happens once a month. Sometimes around a new moon, sometimes around a full moon. But there are calendars out there and apps, my sisters, that you can take a look at and follow to find out exactly where in the moon cycle it is that you start to bleed. And for my brothers, we're just talking about blood, right? We're just talking about blood. So, when it comes to our chakras and energy, as we know, everything is energy. But the blood is special for a number of reasons. the blood, the blood is special for a number of reasons. The blood, 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 in part corresponds with the moon, right? Our moon, because the moon is the feminine principle that controls the tides, right? It controls the waters. It controls the waters, the fluids in our bodies. It controls the fluids. And so this is why, my sisters, you flow usually according to the moon, because the moon controls the tides. Now, one of the things about the blood, as we know, is blood is DNA. The DNA is literally the code to you. It's your genetic blueprint. And I'm doing this, just so you know, this tapping, tap that, tap that. We tap that to get the blood circulating, to get the blood flowing, right? We tap that, get the blood flowing. Get the blood flowing. So, as the DNA holds the memory, it holds the memory of us, but it also holds the memory of our ancestors, and we can never ever forget that. Because as we talk about how our ancestors, how their blood literally flows through us, that's quite literal. And so, the DNA, the blood, is like liquid gold. It's all the information about you. And part of that information is not just the wealth of knowledge, the wealth of the family, when it comes to either material wealth, physical wealth, spiritual wealth, whatever the case may be. It is what it is. But it also holds some of the pain. It also holds the pain. It holds the memory, right? It holds the memory. And so a lot of times we talk about, we see online, we see people talking about breaking ancestral patterns and generational curses and things like that. These are things that have happened in our bloodline. Habits. We all form habits based on different things, right? Based on our external circumstances, based on our environment, based on our genetic coding. We all develop patterns, things that we do, right? And these things become habits. These habits become behaviors. These behaviors become our character, right? The persona, right? The things that we do that make us us, technically. Follow me. Now, some of us are here to break those chains in our DNA, right? Where our DNA code, and y'all have heard me talk about this on different videos, where our DNA code may have gotten locked in a cell, right? In a cell, in a particular cell in your body, because we're talking about you, right? We're not talking about a physical cell. That's just a manifestation. We are talking about a genetic code that has been locked in the cells. And it may be a code of poverty mindset. It may be a code of teenage pregnancies. It may be a code of, you name it, poor eating habits. It could be a number of things that some of us have come here to change so that we don't pass that DNA code on to the next generation. Because just as the waters flow, just as my sisters, you bleed, you shed, just as those things happen, your blood, right, is circulating through your body. So we talk about the circular and cardiovascular system in the body, with the oxygenated and deoxygenated blood, waxing on and waxing off, right? the oxygenated and deoxygenated blood that flows through your body. And when you shed the lining of your uterus, you are quite literally shedding the old. You are shedding the old. Thank you for that confirmation. You hear the crows? So you are shedding. And so as we are shedding, we want to make sure that we're also putting back in to our bodies things that are going to progress our DNA, that are going to progress our bloodline, that are going to increase, that are going to expand our consciousness from where we may have been to where it is that we want to be and where we see ourselves. And in order for us to do that, we have to truly be in touch with ourselves and feel ourselves. Hear me out. So, we're shedding. We're shedding the blood. We're shedding the lining of our uterus. But we're also replenishing with green leafy vegetables and life force energy, right? Because as you're shedding the old, you're bringing in the new. You're making room for the new, making room for the new, for the future, for the future ancestors, for the future children, right? For your future self. We're making room. We're making room. So we're bringing that in. We're bringing that in and making room. And so you want to bring in life force energy. So as we're eating things that are alive, right, that helps to feed our cells and to keep our cells alive, to give them live food, live energy, right? Live energy. These are some of the ways to help to keep our reproductive cells and our reproductive organs alive, right? To keep them alive. Breathe with me. Just keep moving with me. We're just moving, right? And as you move, always move to keep the blood flowing. So if sometimes you find yourself in a place where there's a specific body part that may be hurting, somehow your pain body has been activated, you want to send the energy to that part of your body. And so for some of us, our wombs have had to go through a reconstruction. Let me see my crystal here. So sometimes we have to recalibrate the blood flow. Because it's been told that as we get older, things change in terms of our hormones. And, we have many hormones in our body that keep things flowing, from our mental health to our physical health to our reproductive health. The hormones must be in balance. They must be in balance to do what they need to do. And this is where we talk about the masculine principle, right? Because part of reproduction, as we know, includes a masculine principle. So no matter what, television and people want to tell you, the masculine and the feminine principle are necessary. You see it in nature and in everything else. Even in yourself, there's a masculine and a feminine polarity within you. It's the energy that flows, and we've talked about this before. It's that energy that flows up and down the spine, intertwining, right? They call it the lovers, right? Intertwining up into your pineal gland. Thank you for that. Up into your pineal gland, right? And this is where the Christ consciousness, as it intertwines up and down your spine, it gets to the pineal gland, or the center, the Christhood. that place of enlightenment, bringing those things together, bringing those forces together. That's that logic and intuition, bringing it together, the active and the passive, bringing it together, and building pyramids, you know, building pyramids. So, in the in the blood, I got ahead of myself. One of the core things in the blood is iron. Iron is a masculine principle, right? Iron corresponds to the planet Mars, which is red, right? So, if you think about it, when we are shedding our menstrual fluids, sometimes we can get cold. And what they call that anemia. And what they say generally is because you're low on iron. So this is where that part of that masculine principle is being depleted. So we want to make sure, well, it's masculine and feminine because it's blood. It's, it's the blood, but it's also the flow, right? It's the blood and it's the flow. And so bringing those things together, bringing together the masculine and the feminine principle to make sure that our blood is flowing properly. So, to keep yourself in that state of flow and not in a place, well, let me speak in the affirmative, so y'all see me correct myself in real time, because I want to make sure I speak in the affirmative. So, to keep yourself in the flow, you want to do things, like I said, like eating live foods. But we're going to get to the sacral chakra and how that comes into being as well. So you want to eat live foods. There's also a crystal that you can get. It's called the Shiva Lingam. I've talked about this before on my Instagram channel. It's a little, it can be little. There's also like big ones. They come in different sizes. But the Shiva Lingam is shaped like an egg. And so, as we know, the egg, just is like the beginning of life. And so I look at it like the cosmic egg, like the birth. It's the seat of creation. So the Shiva Lingam is all about alchemy. It brings together that masculine and that feminine force. And so if you are feeling a bit distorted in your hormones and you need to balance out your masculine and feminine principles, then getting a Shiva Lingam crystal that spells SHIVA, it's 2 words, LINGUM, or GAM, I apologize, Shiva Lingam. So you can get that. You can get it on my website at www.consciouscreations.live. You can go to a local crystal shop, pick one up. But again, that is something that will balance the masculine and feminine polarities within you. Now, we always want to make sure that we're moving, keeping our hips open, right? Because that is the place we're talking about reproduction, where we need the masculine and the feminine polarities, right? And so that is the active and the passive. So as we know, our legs, the bottom part of our body is the active, because we need them to move. We need them to move, to do things, right? And so, one of the things that we can do to help each other as our external masculine and feminine is to love yourself well. And what I mean by that is when we come together in physical union, in this exchange of energy called sex, right? It's a sacred energy exchange. This is the sacral chakra, right? It's the sacred exchange of energy. And so in this exchange of energy, one of the things that we don't talk about, that most of us were not aware of, is that when we exchange energy, we're exchanging energy. So it's like a battery, right? So we come together as masculine and feminine, and we empower one another, right? Because Yeah, it's like a battery. And so in this perpetual motion, it can be a state of perpetual energy, right? But we have to make sure, though, that as we are exchanging this energy, that we're doing so in such a way to give each other life, to reinforce and give each other life force energy. So this is where what you are consuming matters. This is where it matters, in part. I mean, it matters to you individually because we're talking about your own vessel, your own body, right? And your own energy. But when you come with another person to exchange energy, what can happen, or what does happen, let me say this, and my sisters, when you receive, right, because you are the receptive, you are the passive force, because your regenerative principle is internal, whereas the masculine regenerative principle is external. They are the givers, we are the receivers. And as the receiver of this energy, all of the energy that you receive, you make it into something, right? Either it's made into a baby, it's made into a business, it's made into something, right? Because it's energy. So we want to make sure that we're giving our partners energy that's going to keep them going, and keep them going in a good way. And by good, I mean something that's beneficial for the furtherance of the expansion of the consciousness, for, you know, growth, development, things like that. So everything that the masculine puts into us, right? So when we're having this sacred energy exchange, when our brothers give themselves to us in that sacred way and shoot their semen, right, into the vessel of the woman, all of the things that are in the semen, the woman then has to transmute. So, my brothers, as you are consuming, whatever you're consuming, from, you know, through all of your portals, whether what you're seeing, what you're hearing, what you're allowing yourself to experience in terms of, you know, the things that you choose to do, the food that you eat, every single thing, right? What happens is, as you give that to your woman, she then has to transmute that, right? And so, if you are in a place where you are angry and aggressive all the time and violent and whatever, and then you give that to your woman, and as she tries to transmute that through her energy, she will either take on that energy and you will see more of that aggressive masculine, you know, energy being expressed in her, or as she's trying to transmute that through her feminine aspect, she can also then become either balanced or distorted, depending, right? Because we're talking about energy. We're just talking about energy. And so as the energy tries to flow, it wants to harmonize. And so sometimes when that energy can't harmonize, it causes disruption. And that can look like mental confusion, because the energy doesn't know what to do, because there's that the primal and primary energy that she carries, and there's the energy that you carry, but then there's the energy that you both bring together. And so it's important to pay attention to what the energy is that we are giving to one another, by paying attention to what you are giving to yourself. So this is why I always tell my people, love yourself well. Well. I mean well and well. Love yourself well. Because we have to heal these wounds. And so as we even work together through our sexual relationships and our partnerships, we're working through breaking these generational curses and breaking these generational traumas, so that as these things clear out, right, as we are transmuting these things, my sisters, right, as this energy is flowing out, we are bringing in new. We are bringing in new. We are bringing in new energy. But We can't continue to repeat the same cycles and expect a new result, right? So we have to allow ourselves to transmute these cycles and to bring in new energy. So that means, my sisters, taking care of yourself. This isn't just about the brothers taking care of themselves, even though most of the time it really is the men who ain't on their stuff when it comes to, like eating well and things like that, eating to live, I should say. Because a lot of our brothers, if you don't, especially if you don't have someone there, making sure that you're doing these things. Sometimes, men just want to, get up and go and do what they have to do. But this also goes back to my sisters. So if you have a man in your life that you love, feed that man. Feed that man. So I know that there's women out here that'll tell you, that's, don't cook for no man. Listen, if you care about that man and if you are having sex with that man, feed that man well. Because the energy that he receives, you're going to receive, right? Feed that man well. Don't let these people tell you that foolishness. Like, I got to switch it up on this one. Don't let them people tell you that foolishness. I get the intention. I get where it comes from. But what I'm saying to you is, if you are having sex, specifically if you are having unprotected sex, all of that energy, you are receiving that energy into your womb. And then you have to transmute that energy because you are the receiver. So now what do you do with all of that information? Because it's information, right? It's DNA, it's information. So all of that information that you've received, right? Now what are you to do with that? What are you to do with that? So if you know that the man that comes home to you, if he's eating good food and drinking good water and you guys are working out together, you're really building life. You're really creating life together. And as you're creating life together, you're creating life together. Do you know what I mean? So I digress for a second. But one of the ways, my brothers and sisters, that we can do this thing in terms of our reproductive health is we want to get rid of old energy. So that's old lovers, that's old hurts, pains, anything that is not creating a life in your womb, right? For my brothers too. So any of the old energy, right? Angry from past relationships, whatever the case may be, whatever it may be, feel yourself. One of the ways that we can do this is literally feeling yourself. So if you touch around your sacred space, massage it, love yourself well. You deserve this. You deserve this, right? You deserve it. So you may feel discomfort. You may feel discomfort. You want to massage that, right? You want to massage that and release the blood flow, release that stagnant energy. So if you're feeling, like I always say, if you're feeling stagnant in creativity, if you're having, and so this is all, creativity is manifestation, it's fertility, it's all from the same place, right? That seed of creativity, creation. So if you are feeling stuck or stagnant, you may have stagnant energy in your womb area. So, sisters, if you've had abortions, hysterectomies, fibroids, any of these things, you may have some old energy that you need to release, okay? So this is a physical release, but it's also a spiritual and emotional release as well. So as you do these things, and as you're shedding and purging, you may find yourself tearful, crying, whatever the case may be, because you're releasing, you're letting go of something that attached itself to you. And it's basically become a part of you. And that part of you doesn't want to let you go. It doesn't want to let go, right? But in order for you to bring in the new, you have to release the old. This is what nature does as we experience seasons. This is what nature does, right? That renewal And then the renew, and I talked about this in the last video, that spring renewal followed by the heat of the summer and the growth of the summer, right? And then we talk about the calming and the slowing down of the autumn, you know, and to the stillness of the winter. And so if we follow these seasons, we look at how nature does things. You are nature. You are nature. You are nature experiencing itself. You are the divine experiencing itself, both the creator and the created, right? Now we're talking about you as the creator. As the creator. As the creator, we get trapped in these cells, right? These cells of trauma and pain and hurt, disappointment, whatever it may be. Let today be the day that you release that, right? And allow your blood to flow, right? And so as we do this, all of the flow that you release, all of that stagnant energy that you release, right? We want to breathe in as we massage the area. We want to breathe in. And as we breathe out, we want to release it and push that energy down the legs. And into the soil, right? So I always recommend that if you can do this outside, barefoot, of course, that's good. Because what you want to do is all of that energy, that stagnant energy that you've just released, you want to release it into the mother, right? Into the Mother Earth, Daughter Earth. Some people refer to her differently, but it is a feminine principle. So once again, my sisters, as we're talking about, as the feminine principle transmutes energy, we take it back to the mother, right? We take it back to the mother. And so as we transmute this energy, my sisters and my brothers transmute this energy, and we bring it down, 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 breathing out and allowing it to clear your soul, the soles of your feet, firmly planted on the ground. Allow it to cleanse and to clear your soul. And as we breathe up, we bring energy back up. As the earth transmutes, we bring the energy back up. That life force energy, as you touch the grass as you do this, that life energy, right? Breathe that life energy back up and bring that life, right? Bring that life energy back into the womb and speak healing over yourself. Speak healing over your family. Speak healing over your partners, over your relationships, over your finances, over everything. Speak healing and wellness. Because I always say, what happens the day after you've healed, right? So we speak wellness over our wombs, over our partners, over our families, over our lives. Oh. So, take care of your wombs, my sisters and my brothers. Because your stomach is also a womb. So you want to make sure, my brothers, love yourself well. Take care of yourselves. We need you. We need you. So give yourself life, right? Give yourself food and energy, good energy. So if you have people around you that are draining your energy and that are just draining your energy and not pouring into you, you may want to detach for a bit. You know, you may want to detach and just kind of get yourself together, right? Because I'm not saying to detach like a permanent detachment. That's not what I'm saying, because this is about unity and bringing things together. But sometimes we have to take a moment, look at ourselves, regroup, and then come back. You know what I mean? It's a part of self-care, because the first thing that we have to do is know thyself. So if you can figure out why, or what is happening in this space that is depleting you or causing you to feel depleted, right, of your energy, that gives you information, right? And so do with that what you will. But part of taking care of our each other is taking care of ourselves. And so the better space that we can put ourselves in, physically, mentally, spiritually, emotionally, financially, all of these things come together. It's all in essence the same thing, but it's just viewed from a different perspective. It all goes back to value, knowing yourself and valuing yourself. And so sometimes in this life, or in life, let me say that, sometimes in life we go through experiences that can make us question our value. And this goes to both men and women. I know a lot of times we focus on the women and the women feeling valued. But if our men don't feel valued, then how can they give us something they don't have, right? So my sisters, it's important to make our men feel valued, to make them feel valued, to know that they are important, that they are special, that they are valued, that they, in fact, matter, that they're important to you. Let them know that. And so this isn't just about romantic relationships. This is just people in general. So as you come across, men on the street, right? Be kind. Be kind, because you never know the energy that you're giving to folks, the way that it can impact them. And that energy that you're giving out, you get that back, right? You get it back. So you want to make sure that you're giving out all of this good energy that's really helping people on their journey. If you can't help them on their journey, don't make it any worse, right? Don't leave someone in a worse condition than you found them, right? Because that's not cool. But at the same time, value yourself, know yourself, value yourself. And then when you value yourself and know yourself, you can value other people. So, my loves, take care of yourselves, love yourself well. For any products that you need, visit our website, www.consciouscreations.live, where we have body butters. That was our first product that we created. So body butters, massage oil. So as we talk about massaging the sacral chakra, we do have a massage oil called the Men All Pause. So it's made with essential oils that are good for women who may be experiencing menopausal symptoms. So that's good for that. But even if you're not experiencing menopausal symptoms, it smells good. So it could also help you with that. There's also one that you can use for the sacral chakra. It's called Wake Up Sleepyhead. It has citrus in it. So, it has different citrus oils that help to awaken that sacral chakra energy. So it gives you that awakening energy. So visit our website. Oh, today, if you are in Baltimore, come to Eager Park. I think the address is, don't quote me on the address. Eager Park in Baltimore from 3 to 8. There's a music festival called Solstice. So as we talk about the Solstice Music Festival from 3 to 8 in Baltimore. Come check it out. Check out there'll be great music. I was there at the event last year. It was a great event. Good food, great vendors, good energy. So come on out, support, stop by the Conscious Creations table, say hello, pick up some stuff, and I look so forward to either seeing you guys or both, right? Seeing you at Solstice and seeing you on the next video. Love yourself well.